Many of you have reported that the FCC hack that I covered in one of the previous videos is no longer working. In this video, I will show you that we can still make it work despite DJI has tried to close the loophole with the newer versions of the DJI Fly app. There's no doubt that the biggest weakness of the Mavic Mini is the connectivity, especially in Europe, where CE limits the broadcasting power multiple times compared to what is possible in the US with FCC. The struggle is real, and that has been confirmed with the big interest in the previous video I made about this topic. But I do want to mention there's a difference in the hardware, so you will not benefit as much with your CE drone compared to the full FCC version flown in CE territory. But there are still reports out there of doubling your range, so any improvement is beneficial, especially as CE Mavic Mini owners have reported issues starting as early as 200 to 300 meters from takeoff. Make sure to watch the video to the end, because I will share where you can download a PDF document I've compiled with highlights from this video that you can print out and bring along when you're out flying. If you're anything like me, you can't remember half of it when you're out in the field, so this might be helpful. Disclaimer, is it even legal to use this hack? Normally using higher broadcasting power than allowed in areas where you're flying is not allowed. There's a reason for this kind of regulation. But as the hardware differs and the CE drone is made especially for Europe, there should be no issues testing this out. There's no doubt that information in this video would mostly benefit the FCC drone owners flying in CE territory. But I do want to point out that this is not legal and you will be breaking the local law. Let's go through the steps needed to make this work on an Android phone. The first thing that you need to do is you need to enable developer mode on your Android phone. We do that by going under settings here, and it may be different on different phones, but on this one it is about this phone, and you have to go under software information, and you have to go under Android baseband build number, and then you need to triple tap on the build number until developer mode is enabled. It's already enabled on that one, but that's more or less the principle, and it might differ from phone to phone. But this is the first step you need to do. Then you need to go to the Play Store and download fake GPS and install it on the phone. Then you open it. You say continue. Check for updates, we don't need that. Almost there. Open settings. Then you need to go to settings, developer options, and allow mock locations. That's also different from phone to phone. But again, we go back here on the settings, and there's developer options, and we scroll down here to debugging, and then we need to select mock application and then fake GPS. And then fake GPS is more or less set. So let's go back to the home screen here, and then right now just kill off the app like that. Then you need to uninstall the DJI Fly app, because the current version is not capable of doing this anymore. Let's uninstall that one. So that's gone. So now you need to go to a site that's called APK Mirror. On this web page, there are several older versions of the DJI Fly app available, so we can pick an older version. So let's just type DJI Fly. Oh. You see, you have all the different versions that has ever been released of the DJI Fly app. Do I really need to install an older version of the app and lose some of the benefits that I've been getting with some of the later releases? Yes, that is true, but some of the important ones stay, like the manual video control, which is determined by the firmware. So to my knowledge, DJI has patched the hole, so it will not work with the newer versions of the DJI Fly app. I might be wrong, let me know in the comments. But for this experiment, I decided to go for the DJI Fly app 108, and I need to press the download icon here. And then you're being bombarded with all sorts of apps, so you need to navigate this very carefully, not to press and install something that you don't want on your phone. So you can go down here to available APKs, and there's one here from March 27, 2020. And we are taking that one. So you need to press a lot of times. They made it like this because they want you to press some of the other commercials that are in here. So that's a lot of information, and then you can say verified download APK. So once you press download APK, you should get the right file. Check the file name. The file name will say DJI Go 108 and then say download. So once that is downloaded, you simply install it. One thing you need to be aware of if you are going along with this hack, basically you need to disable auto updating of the app, because otherwise you risk that the app is updating in the background. So when you're out flying and you want to revert back to this version, it's no longer available because it has been updated to the latest one. So app has been installed. Let's open it. Yes. And then we go through all the shebang to like you normally do. Yes. We're just speeding up this process. So we installed the app. Let's just go and check if this is the right version. It should be the 108 under here. Yes, so it's the 108. Start up the Mavic Mini indoor with no GPS reception, or simply put your hand on top of the drone to block the GPS signal. It's important there is no GPS reception during the procedure. Plug in the phone and power up the remote. And wait for it to connect to the drone. Make sure to calibrate the compass if asked. You can also decide to unlock takeoff with no GPS. This is not necessary for this procedure. So if I go under the three dots in the upper right corner under transmission, you would see that there is 13 channels available, and this means that the drone is in CE mode. Let's change that. Let's start by killing the app, like that, and then go into fake GPS and simply find a new location somewhere in the US, like this. And then you need to press the play icon and the app will minimize by itself automatically. Now we can launch the DJI Fly app, and it will shift to the FCC location and shift the number of channels. So now it will shift into FCC mode when you see this message. After resetting the wireless network settings to match local laws and regulations, wait and connect again later. So if we go under the three dots now, we should see that the number of channels under the transmission tab has been reduced to 11. So now the drone is in FCC mode. What we're going to do next to preserve these settings is we're going to disconnect the phone. We're going to power down the remote. And the same for the drone. And we are ready to go on location. Let's go out and test this out. When you arrive on location, before you turn anything on, then make sure that your phone is not connected to the remote. What you're going to do next is you're going to power on the Mini and the remote. And wait for them to connect. Then you start the motors by using the CSC stick commands by pressing them center low. You might not be able to do that right away because the GPS inside the Mini needs to connect to at least 10 satellites before it will allow you to start the motors manually with the remote. In case you want to do that, you need to move back to the initial step and perform the FCC hack on the location. So now you just launch the drone. Then we just launch the drone in approximately 1 meter's height, and then we will connect the phone. Because the drone is airborne, DJI is not changing the Wi-Fi settings. So if I go under the three dots up here under transmission, you would see that it still has only 11 channels, meaning that it is in FCC mode. So now I can fly the drone around and enjoy that I am operating the drone in FCC. And the cool part about this is that it will stay in this mode because DJI can't cut the connection for the drone while it's airborne. So it will stay within these Wi-Fi settings as long as it's airborne. When you need to switch a battery, or you might need to change some filters or so, and you want to preserve the settings that you have just entered, then you just need to do it backwards. So let's say that you have flown the drone up here like that. So just bring it down to a safe location. So just put it down like that manually. So what we do now is that we simply disconnect the phone before we land it, like that. And then we land it manually by simply just pressing the left stick down, like that. It's as easy as that, and you can repeat the takeoff on location procedure and get airborne in FCC mode again. You probably have a ton of questions about this, and you're likely only to remember half of it when you're out in the field. I would not, so I've compiled a PDF document including a FAQ with the most common asked questions about this FCC hack that you can download through the Tech Drone Media website through the link in the description below and print out and bring with you when you're out preparing for your next flight. That at least will make it a lot easier. If you have additional questions that you want this document to cover, then let me know in the comment below. Then I will make an updated version. By the way, have you seen the video that I've made about the added functionality like 360 panorama pictures, AEB photos, and even follow me mode that you can get for your Mavic Mini by using the Legality app? In case you missed that video, you can access it through this card. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.